Good morning, everyone. Welcome to quarter 3, week number 9 of Mathematics 7. I am Ma'am Lovely Rose D. Bamba, and I will be your teacher facilitator for today's topic. So, without further ado, here are the objectives. First is to state the relationship of the sides and angles of polygons, followed by finding the sum of the measures of the interior angles of polygons. Next is find the sum of the interior and the exterior angles of polygons, and of course, to solve problems involving sides and angles of polygons. So technically, based from our objectives, our discussion for today will revolve about polygons. But before that, let's have a short pre-test. Let's just test if you have prior knowledge regarding our topic for today. So during the weekends, I have sent a Google Form link to random sections from the grade 7 students. And then from there, I have seen the results. So I will show to you later the chart that shows the results of the pretest of those random students. So malalaman natin mamaya kung meron nga bang idea ang mga grade 7 students sa topic natin ngayong araw. Pero syempre sa mga kasama ko ngayon, tulong din kayo or sagot din kayo. Tignan natin kung kayo din ba ay may idea sa kung ano nga bang pag-aaralan natin. So, all you have to do is to type the letter sa ating comment section of the answer that you think best, the best for our question. Okay? So, 5 tanong lang naman, very short. So, mga 3 seconds lang siguro, 3 to 5 seconds per question, then that's it. Okay? Sige, simulan natin. Again, just type your answers in the comment section. Let's start. First, what is the measure of each interior angle of a regular nonagon? A, is it 190 degrees? B, 170 degrees? C, 150 degrees? Or letter D, 140 degrees? Type your answers now in the comment section. Paki-type po sa comment section natin. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. If you answered letter D, 140 degrees, you got it correctly. So, checkan nyo yung mga gawa ninyo and give yourself a point. Ngayon, tignan natin yung mga kaklase or mga kakilala ninyo na nag-take ng pre-test prior this video lesson. Okay? Tignan natin ang results from the Google Forms. Alright, out of the 22 students na nag-take, 14 of them got it correctly. Nice naman. So, ibig sabihin, dun sa 22 yon, more than half of them knows the correct answer. Okay? So, kahit pa paano, nagkakaroon tayo ng pag-asa. Sige. Good job. Next. Second question. What is the measure of each exterior angle of a regular decagon? A, 36 degrees. B, 46 degrees. C, 56 degrees. Or letter D, 66 degrees. Paki-type na po ang inyong mga sagot sa ating comment sections. Sections, ang dami. Okay. So, ano nga bang tamang sagot? If you answered letter A, you got it correctly. So, the exterior angle of a regular decagon is 36 degrees each. Tignan natin ang results ng mga estudyanteng nag-take last time. And out of 22 students, merong 18 na nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Very good naman. So, marami pa rin. Talagang may mga iilan lang na siguro kailangan lang ng konting guidance pagkatapos ng discussion natin. Okay? Next. Third question. What is the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a quadrilateral? Sum daw ng interior angles ng isang quadrilateral. Ano nga ba ang quadrilateral? Sige nga. A, 316 degrees. B, 326 degrees. C, 356 degrees. Or letter D, 360 degrees. Type your answers now, dear grade 7 students, sa ating comments section. Okay. So, ayan. Very good sa mga nagsasagot ngayon at nakikipag-cooperate. But, ano nga ba ang tamang sagot? If you answered letter D, 360 degrees, that is the correct answer. Very good. Give yourself another point. Tignan natin ang results. So, out of 22 responses, 17 students got it correctly. Very good. Laging mataas ang percentage ng mga estudyanteng nakakuha ng tamang sagot kahit sa pretest pa lamang. Very good. Nice. Sige, next. I think this is the second to the last question. How many sides does a regular polygon have if the sum of its interior angles is 720 degrees? Is it A4, B5, C6, or letter D, 7? Ngayon, itype na ang inyong mga sagot sa comment section. Huwag kayong mag-alala ha, whatever your score is on this pretest, it will not define your learnings at the end of our discussion. Ito ay test lamang para makita kung may idea na ba kayo sa i-discuss ko. Kasi kung wala pa, kaya nga tayo ngayon narito para pag-aralan. Okay? So, ano nga bang tamang sagot? Ayan. Mahuhusay ang mga naglalagay ng sagot sa kanilang comment section. If you answered letter C, bigyan mo ulit ang sarili mo ng 1 point. Very good. 6-sided polygon ang merong sum na interior angles na 720 degrees. Tignan natin ang results based from the charts. Out of 22 students, 15 got it correctly, or 68.2% of those who took the test. Nice one pa rin. Okay? And of course, the last question. What is the sum of the measures of the exterior angles of regular polygons? Is it A, 180 degrees, B, 360 degrees, C, 540 degrees, or letter D, 720 degrees? Please type in your answers sa ating comment section, grade 7 students. So, yan, tignan natin ha. Ano nga ba ang tamang sagot? Ang tamang sagot ay letter B, 360 degrees. If you got it correctly, isang puntos muli para sa'yo. Tignan ulit natin ang chart. And based from the chart, 14 out of 22 responses, or 63.6% of the respondents got the answer correctly. So, count the number of correct items over 5, and can you type in your scores sa ating comment section. Ayan. So, out of 5 points, the passing score is 3. But again, whether you pass or not on this pretest, it does not matter as long as meron na tayo ngayong idea kung ano nga bang status ninyo sa ating topic ngayong araw. So, based from the pretest that I have given to randomly selected students, most of them talaga ay meron ng idea sa kung ano nga bang pag-aaralan natin today regarding polygons. Okay? And I hope na talaga nga naman na mas magiging madali para sa inyo ang pag-intindi ng ating discussion. Okay? Kasi more or less, yung mga nakita niyong question, yun na yung i-discuss natin. Okay? Are there any more questions so far? Kung wala, let's now move on to the next part. Okay, so for the next part, we will just have a short review of what was discussed last time by our teacher facilitator, Mr. C. Okay? So, ang gagawin niya lang is to go to www.menti.com and use the code 999705562. So kapag hiningan kayo ng code, yan yung i-type ninyo. Or you can go directly to Google, then type in this link, https colon // www.menti.com 684QBOCZYI. Okay? So, ayan, punta kayo ngayon dyan. Pag pumunta kayo dyan, may makikita kayong tanong. At ang tanong ay, what is a polygon? Kanina ko pa binabanggit na ang topic natin ngayong araw is all about polygons or different things about polygons. Pero ano nga ba ang polygon? Let's recall. Okay? So, ayan nga. Sabi ko kanina, if you go to menti.com, makikita nyo yung tanong na what is a polygon. And here are the answers given by the grade 7 students. Ayan. Tignan natin. Pili lang tayo ng iilan. Tignan ko kung talaga bang may idea na kayo or alam nyo na nga ba kung ano nga bang isang polygon. So, ito, una, a polygon is a flat, two-dimensional shape with straight sides that are fully closed. Okay? Two-dimensional flat. Tama ka naman. Okay? A polygon is a closed figure. Correct. Ito, mahaba. In geometry, a polygon is a plane figure that is described by a finite number of straight line segments connected to form a closed polygonal chain. The bounded plane region, the bounding circuit, or the two together may be called a polygon. Yes? Sige, nice. Next. No curves, only straight edges. Pag wala daw kurba, polygon na daw yon. Two-dimensional shape. Sabi dito, may straight sides. Sige. Ito naman. Poly means many, gon means angles. Pag pinagsama daw, polygon means many angles. Nice. Ano pa? Pwede din daw na maging concave or convex. At ito, meron pong sides at angles. May sumagot din. Ang polygon daw ay isang shape. Sige. Okay. A plane figure with at least 3 straight sides and angles and typically 5 or more. Alright. So, technically, kung titignan natin, halos pare-parehas ang idea ninyo kung ano nga ba ang isang polygon. And actually, kapag pinagsama-sama natin yan, your answers are correct. So, kumbaga, polygon is a closed figure na merong straight sides or straight edges. Hindi pwedeng may curved parts. Okay? Poly means many, gon means angles. So, many angles. Kasi, basically, ang isang polygon ay marami kang angles na pwedeng makuha. So, I think na meron na talaga kayong idea sa kung ano nga ba ang polygon. So, pwede na tayong mag-continue sa ating main topic for today. So, very good sa mga nag-join sa aking short activity. Let's now proceed. So, nakita natin na ngayon kung ano nga ba ang pagkakaalala ninyo sa kung ano nga ba ang definition ng isang polygon. So, for today, we will be digging deeper about polygons. By how? By solving different problems involving sides and angles of polygons. Pero bago natin simulan yung mga yan, so may mga itatanong ako at ang kailangan nyo lang gawin is i-type ang mga sagot niyo sa comment section. Okay? So, simulan na natin! Let's start! So, dito sa table ko, may mga isusulat si teacher. Then, just type in the correct answer. Simulan natin. Number of sides. Pag number of sides, let's say I have a polygon with 3 sides. Anong tawag doon? How do you call a 3-sided polygon? All right, if you answered triangle, that is correct. So, a 3-sided polygon is a triangle. So, if I have a triangle, ilang triangles ang pwedeng mabuo sa isang triangle? The answer is, okay, the answer is 1. Next, Sum of angles. Anong measure ng angles nito pag pinagsama-sama? Answer? Okay, the correct answer is 180 degrees. Okay, good. Next. Okay tayo sa triangle ha. Next. How about a four-sided polygon? How do you call a four-sided polygon? Okay? If you answered, sige, square, rectangle. O, correct. Tama yon. They are four-sided polygons. But in general, they are called, right, quadrilateral. So, sa isang quadrilateral, ilang triangles ang pwedeng mabuo? So, consider natin yung isang quadrilateral na sinabi ninyo. The square. So, kung meron akong square, ilang triangles ang pwedeng mabuo dito? So, pag gumawa ko ng diagonal, isang diagonal lang ha. So, the number of triangles that I can form, meron akong isa, dalawa. Okay? So, I have two triangles. At ano ang measure ng sum of angles of a quadrilateral? Measure nito. Okay? Or kung tignan ninyo, kanina sa triangle, ang sum ng measure, ang isang triangle, 180 degrees, diba? Eh, ilang triangles to? Dalawa. So, kung dalawang triangles yan, ang sum of angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. Okay? Ganun yung concept. Next tayo. Screenshot kayo ha, if gusto. Para makapag-take down. How about a five-sided polygon? How do you call a five-sided polygon? Type in your answers. Alright. If you answered pentagon, that is correct. So, ilang triangles ba ang pwedeng mabuo sa isang pentagon? So, let's try to draw a pentagon. A five-sided figure. So, let's say mula sa isang vertex, gagawa ko ng diagonals na pwede. Isa. Assume they are straight. Dalawa. Okay? Ilang triangles ang nabuo? 1, 2, 3. So, in a pentagon, we can form 3 triangles. Ano kaya sum of angles niya? Tingnan natin ha. Ilang triangles na buo? 3. Ang isang triangle, ano sum ng interior angles niya? 180 degrees. Remember, when we are talking about angles, it's always in degree yung units niya. Okay? So, tatlong 180 degrees. What's 3 times 180 degrees? That is 540 degrees. Okay? So, the sum of angles of a regular pentagon is 540 degrees. One last. Sana may napapansin kayo sa pinagagawa natin Sana may nakukuha kayong idea kung saan nga ba tayo papatungo. How about a six-sided polygon? How do you call a six-sided polygon? A six-sided polygon is a hexagon. Okay? So, it's a hexagon. Drawing tayo ng hexagon. Ba itsura ng hexagon? Itsura. 1, 2, 3. Ayan, medyo lakihan ko. 4, 5, 6. Ayan. Hexagon. Ngayon, mula dito sa hexagon na to, from one of its vertices, gawa tayo ng mga diagonals, then let's see how many triangles can be formed. Let's say mula sa vertex na to. So, 1. From one vertex to another lang ha. Okay. So, ilang triangles ang pwedeng mabuo from a hexagon? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So, the number of triangles ay 4. Ngayon, ano ang sum of angles? Since ang isang hexagon ay pwede kang makabuo ng 4 na triangles and each triangle ay merong ilan? Ilan ulit ang interior angles niya? 180 degrees. Therefore, the sum of the angles of a regular hexagon is 4 times 180 degrees. Or 4 na 180. 180, 180, 180, 180. This is 360. This is 360. So, in total, 360 plus 360 will give us 720 degrees. So, grade 7, the sum of angles of a regular hexagon is 720 degrees. Question so far? Wala. Kung wala, ito lang ang gusto kong pansinin ninyo. Or let's generalize what happened. Ano nga bang nangyayari? Let's say, palitan natin ng kulay. Let's relate the number of sides of a polygon to the number of triangles. Kanina, kapag ang number of sides ay 3, ang number of triangle ay 1. Kapag ang number of sides ay 4, ang number of triangle ay 2. Kapag ang number of sides ay 5, ang number of triangles ay 3. Ngayon naman, kapag ang number of sides ay 6, ang number of triangles ay 4. What is the relationship ngayon of the number of triangles to the number of sides? Again, what is the relationship of the number of triangles to the number of sides? Pansinin, anong pattern, anong nangyayari? Pwede niyong i-type ang sagutin niyo sa comment section. Pero kung ang iniisip niyo ay ang number of triangles ay laging mas mababa ng ilang beses? Ng 2 beses kesa sa number of sides mo, you got it correctly. Ang number of triangles ay laging 2 less than the number of sides. So, if I have n as the number of sides, the number of triangles will be represented, triangles yan will be represented by how? Remember, it's 2 less than the number of sides. So, it should be n minus 2. Okay? So, the number of sides is n. The number of triangles will always be n minus 2. Last. Ano napansin niyo sa sum of the interior angles? Ano lang laging ginagawa? Ina-identify mo lang lagi kung ilang triangles meron. Tapos, imumultiply mo saan? Sa 180 degrees. So, technically, grade 7 students, if we are looking for the sum of the interior angles, all you have to do is to multiply the number of triangles that you can form from that polygon to 180 degrees. Ano nga ba yung representation natin for the number of triangles? The number of triangles is represented by n minus 2. So, technically, the sum of angles is the number of triangles, n minus 2, multiplied by the constant 180 degrees. At kapag pinagsama-sama yung mga yan, we can actually generate, or we have already generated a formula that we can use in finding the sum of the interior angles of any regular polygon. Okay? And ito na nga yun. So, you can take a screenshot. So, the sum of the measures of the interior angles or the angles of any convex polygon with n sides is given by the formula S equals n minus 2 times 180 degrees. Where S, of course, represents the sum and n represents the number of sides. So, for example, kung ang tanong is hanapin ang measure ng angles of a octagon. Octagon, hindi, palitan natin. Decagon. Let's say a decagon. A decagon is a what? A decagon is a 10-sided figure. So, n is 10. Pag ganyan yung ginawa mo, all you have to do is to substitute. S, ang n ko ay 10. 10 minus 2 times 180 degrees. 10 minus 2 is 8 times 180 degrees. So, what is 180 times 8? 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 6 is 14. Tama ba? 8 plus 6, 14. Okay. So, 1,440 degrees. So, the sum of the measures of the angles of a regular decagon is 1,440 degrees. At hindi na kailangan nating alamin kung isa-isa or sukatin. We can calculate it using this formula na na-derive natin kanina. Okay? Questions? Wala? Sige. Kung walang tanong, let's proceed with the next part. So, aside from the measures of the angles of a convex polygon, we can also determine the sum of each interior angle. So, for example, I have a quadrilateral. Yes. Quadrilateral. Pare-parehas sila ng sides. Okay? Alam ko, using our formula earlier, that the sum of this quadrilateral is equal to 360 degrees. Pero I would like to determine ano kaya yung measure of each interior angle. Kasi total ang binigay eh. We have the total. But what is the measure of each angle? So all you have to do is, of course, get the sum of the interior angles, then divide it by the number of sides. So in this quadrilateral, meron tayong 4 sides. So 360 degrees divided by 4, that is 90 degrees. So sa quadrilateral na ito, each interior angle of a regular quadrilateral is ay may measure na 90 degrees. Okay, ganun lang kadali. So this is the formula. M is equal to n minus 2 times 180 degrees divided by n. Ito kanina, ito yung formula ng sum of interior angles. Kapag ang hinihingi ay yung each interior angle, divide mo lang sa number of sides. Okay? Next. The measure of each exterior angle of a regular polygon is 360 degrees divided by, and teacher, bakit 360 degrees? Kasi, next ko muna ha. Kasi lagi niyong tandaan, the sum of the exterior angles of any polygon, one for each vertex, is 360 degrees. So, kapag may triangle ako, pinahabaan ko yan. Yang mga yan. Ang measure ng exterior angles nila, kapag inad ko, 360 yan. Ito, kapag inad ko, okay, pag inad ko yung mga exterior angles niya, sige kaya, okay, or kahit ano itsura niyan, it's always 360 degrees. So, pag tinanong kayo, ano yung measure ng exterior angle ng isang decagon, dodecagon, octagon, nonagon, hexagon, heptagon, kahit ano man yan, the answer is always 360 degrees. Ulitin ko ha, sum of the exterior angles. That's why, kapag kinuha natin ang measure of ng each exterior angle of a regular polygon, all you have to do is to get 360 then divide it by n. Baka nagtataka kayo ano yung regular ha? Pag sinabi nating regular, equal sides, and equiangular. Okay? Equilateral and equiangular. Pare-parehas ang measure ng sides, pare-parehas ang measures ng angles. Okay? That's a regular polygon. So, to determine the exterior angle of a regular polygon, you just get 360 degrees and divide it by the number of sides. So, kung meron akong pentagon, 1, 2, 3, okay, pentagon yan. At gusto kong malaman ang measure ng bawat exterior angle niya, nasa labas, it's m equals 360 degrees divided by n. The number of sides is 5. And what is 360 divided by 5? So, that's 7, 35, 10, 2. Okay? So, we have 72 degrees. So, bawat isang exterior angle daw ng isang pentagon ay 72 degrees. Questions? None? Kung wala, those are just some of the concepts that you need to remember in order for you to solve problems involving sides and angles of a polygon. And if you can master those concepts, magiging madali na ang next activity natin, which is problem solving. Ready na kayo? Kung ready na kayo, pwede kayong maglabas ng papel, ballpen, lapis, or kahit anong panulat para makatulong sa pagsagot ng mga problems na ipapakita natin sa ating screen. Okay? Let's go! Simulan natin sa ating unang tanong. First question. Find the sum of the interior angles of an octagon. Okay? So, determine the given. Ano bang given? Ang given, may polygon tayo at ang polygon natin ay octagon. Ilan ang sides ng isang octagon? Very good. 8. What are we looking for? We're looking for S or the sum of the interior angles. Sige nga, anong formula ang pwede natin gamitin? Pwede nyong i-type sa comment section. Okay? If you answered S equals n minus 2 times 180 degrees, that is correct. Substitution. N is 8 minus 2, 180 degrees. What's 8 minus 2? Very good. 6 times 180 degrees. Multiply 180 times 6. 6 times 0 is 0. 8 times 6 is 20. Charot, 24. 48. 48. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 4 is 10. So we have 1,080 degrees. So the sum of the interior angles of an octagon, an 8-sided polygon. May tsura ng octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ayan. Imagine niyo na lang. That is equal, or ang sum daw ng mga to, pag pinagsama-sama mo, should be equal to 1,080 degrees. Laging ganun lang ha. From the problem, identify what's given, identify what is asked. Kapag nakuha nyo na yung mga details na yon, then doon nyo na i-determine anong formula ang dapat kong gamitin. Paano ko siya masasagutan? Okay? Very easy for the first question. Next. The sum of the interior angles of a polygon is 1,440 degrees. How many sides does this polygon have? Okay? So, technically, medyo magmamanipulate tayo sa part na to. Teacher, bakit tayo magmamanipulate? Tignan natin ha. Ano bang given? Ang given ay ang sum ng interior angles, which is 1,440 degrees. Anong hinahanap? Sides, which is represented by n. So, anong formula ang pwedeng gamitin? So, since given yung sum ng interior angles at hinahanap ang sides, basically, we can still use the formula n minus 2 times 180 degrees. Pero teacher, ang hinahanap ay n or ang nawawala is n. Pero kung mapapansin nyo po, merong minus 2 at merong 180 degrees. Kapag ang ganyan ang case, we can always manipulate the formula. Iwan nating mag-isa si n. Kailangan maiwan siya or ma-isolate siya on one side of the equation. Okay? So, una nating tatanggalin or una nating kailangan isipin paano mawawala sa tabi ni n is si 180 degrees. Remember the operation between the parentheses and the 180 is multiplication. And if you would like to remove a multiplier, all you have to do is to do the opposite operation. And the operation opposite multiplication is division. So, divide tayo. Divide both sides by 180 degrees. Cancel, cancel. Teacher, ba't cancel? 180 divided by 180 is just 1. No need to write 1. So, we have n minus 2. And we can now omit the parentheses. S over 180 degrees. Next, teacher, sabi mo kailangan maiwan or ma-isolate si n. Pero may katabi pa si n na minus 2. Okay? Minus 2. How can we remove the minus 2? Again, take the opposite operation. What's opposite subtraction? That is addition. So, n minus 2 plus 2, s over 180 degrees plus 2. Teacher, bakit plus 2? Baka pala nagtataka kayo. We're solving an equation. Whenever you're solving an equation, whatever you do to the right, you do it to the left. And whenever you do to the left, you do it to the right. Okay? Kasi equation yan eh. Dapat kahit anong mangyari, equal sila sa isa't isa. Kapag ginawa mo lang yung isa sa kanan, hindi mo ginawa sa kaliwa, they will not be equal to each other. Okay? So, negative 2 plus 2, 0. So, mawawala na yan. Or, on other terms, ang sinasabi is, transpose. Ganun. Okay? So, n is equal to s over 180 degrees plus 2. So, all you have to do to find the number of sides, s of a regular, hindi pala natin alam. Kunin mo yung given, 1,440 degrees. 1,440 degrees, divide mo sa 180. Tapos, dagdagan mo ng 2. And that would be the value of n. Ngayon, alamin natin, ano nga ba ang quotient ng 1,440 degrees at, 1,440 degrees at 180 degrees. That is 8. Okay? So, 1,440, continue ko dito divided by 180 degrees is 8. Do not forget the plus 2 and then the equals n. What's 8 plus 2? 10. So, what's the number of sides? The number of sides is 10. Therefore, anong polygon ang tinutukoy sa problem na to? We're talking about a decagon. At kung naaalala niyo yung ginawa natin kanina, you can answer this even without solving. But basically, I would like to show to you that you can always manipulate the formula given. Okay? Next. Mr. Anifloni, a carpenter, is planning to build a gazebo whose base is a regular hexagon. At what angle should he cut the lumber to frame the base? So, paano kaya ito? Okay, try natin. So, kung ang balak natin ay malaman kung anong angle dapat niya i-cut yung lumber para makagawa ng frame doon sa base, technically, gustong, ano itsura ng hexagon? Hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ayun, parang piatos. Okay. Hexagon yan ha. Tiwala lang. parang piatos ang itsura. Sige, pagandahin natin. Ulitin natin. Hexagon. Piatos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, kailangan malaman niya kung anong angle niya dapat ikat para magawa yung base, para magawa ng frame yung base. Okay? So, basically, we need the measure of each interior angle of this hexagon. At paano ginagawa yon? Remember the formula? Formula natin, yung sum ng interior angles na n minus 2 times 180 degrees ay i-divide mo by the number of sides. Okay? So, what's n minus 2? Hexagon is a six-sided figure. So, 6 minus 2 times 180 degrees. Divided by 6. PEMDAS rule, 6 minus 2 muna. 4 times 180 degrees. Divided by 6. What's 140 times 140? What's 180? 180 times 4. Okay, so 180 times 4 is 720 degrees. Then 720 degrees, divide mo siya sa 6. Anong sagot? So, M equals, that is 12. 120. Okay. 120 degrees. Tama ba? Check nga natin. 0. 6 times 2, 12. Okay. So, the answer is 120 degrees. So, Mr. Annie Flonny should cut the lumber at a 120 degree angle in order for him to frame the base. Okay? Frame. Lagyan ng frame. Parang yung mga, basta, yung ganyan. Yan ata yung tinutukoy nila dyan. Okay? Real life application of sides and angles of polygons. Okay? Next tayo. Find the number of sides of a regular polygon with an exterior angle of 40 degrees. So, kanina pinag-aralan natin na kapag kumukuha tayo or alam natin na ang exterior angle, ang sum ng exterior angle of any regular polygon is always 360 degrees. And to get the measure of each exterior angle, all you have to do is to divide it by the number of sides. So, sa case na to, ang hinahanap, find the number of sides of a polygon with an exterior angle of 40 degrees. So, ang nawawala is si n. Laging tandaan niyo, pag ang nawawala is si number of sides, that's the value of n. So, 360 degrees divided by n, si m, yan yung 40 degrees. Or yung measure ng each side. Paano gagawin dito? Teacher, nawawala si n. Di ba sabi mo, pag naghahanap tayo ng value ng variable, we always isolate that variable. Kaso lang nasa baba si n. Or naka-division si n. Naka-divide si n. Pinang-divide si n kay 360. So, take the opposite of division. What's the opposite of division? Multiplication. You multiply both sides. By what? By n. Kasi si n ang gusto mong malipat sa taas eh. So, cancel. Kasi n divided by n is 1. What's 40 times n? 40 times n is 40n equals 360. Isolate n. Balik mo. We need now to do the opposite of multiplication. Kasi 40 and n, ang operation between that is multiplication. So, divide by 40, divide by 40. Cancel. What is 360 degrees divided by 40 degrees? 360 degrees divided by 40 degrees. Sige nga po. You can type in your answers sa ating comment section. Ano nga ba ang 360 divided by 40 degrees? If you answered 9, that is correct. Therefore, the number of sides of a polygon with an exterior angle of 40 degrees ay 9 sides, which makes it a nonagon. Question so far? None? If none, let's now proceed again. Find the measure of each interior angle, each exterior angle, and the sum of the interior angles of a regular dodecagon. Ano nga ba yung dodecagon? Ang decagon is a 10-sided figure. So, what is a dodecagon? Okay? Laging ganyan yan, ha? Search nyo. So, a dodecagon is a 12-sided figure. May 12 sides. Hanapin natin yung each interior angle, and the sum of the interior angles. Simulan ko dun sa sum. Talaga sinimulan ko dun sa letter C. Kasi ano siya eh, gagamitin natin siya para makuha yung letter A. So, ano n dito? Ang n dito ay 12. So, 12 minus 2 times 180 degrees. 12 minus 2, 10 times 180 degrees. So, therefore, it's 1,800 degrees. So, the sum of the interior angles of a regular dodecagon is 1,800 degrees. Sunod ko yung each interior angle. Since alam ko na, kasi ito ang formula, di ba? Tapos, i-divide lang sa n. Ito yun. Alam ko na ang sagot dyan ay 1,800. So, kung alam ko na, sulat ko na lang yan dyan. Minsan, diskartehan nyo na lang kung paano nyo gagawin na mas magiging madali for you to answer the problem. Okay? Then, divide both sides. Divide it by the number of sides, which is 12. So, what is 1,800 divided by 1,800 divided by 12? Sige nga. Calcu. Sige, calcu. 1,800 divided by 12. Para sure tayo. Okay? So, the answer is 150 degrees. So, the sum of each interior angle of a regular dodecagon is 150 degrees. And we can now answer letter B, exterior angle. Each exterior angle that is given by the formula 360 degrees divided by the number of sides. So, 360 divided by 12. 36 divided by 12 is 3. 0, 30 degrees. So, each exterior angle of a regular dodecagon or a 12-sided figure is 30 degrees. As long as you know the formula, how to use it, how to interpret the problem, and then input it to the formula, it will be very easy for you. Okay? Next. I think this is the last one. Each interior angle of a regular polygon measures 156 degrees. Find the number of sides, the measure of each exterior angle, and the sum of the interior angles. I think for the last one, I will be giving this to you as an activity. Okay? So, sagutan ninyo to. Pero, actually, this can be seen on your modules. Okay? Pero, bago nyo tignan sa module ninyo, sagutan nyo muna. Tapos, pag nasagutan ninyo, tingnan ninyo, pareho ba ang makukuha ninyong sagot? Okay? At, lagi lang tatandaan, lagi nyo lang tatandaan na whenever you are solving anything, read and understand the problem. Do not just read. Understand. Identify the given. Identify what is asked. Then determine, do I have a formula that I can use? Or what will be my working equation? From there, you can now solve. And do not ever forget to always write the final answer. And if it requires units, always do so. Okay? Sa inyo na yan. review. You can take a screenshot of this one because this is the or these are the formulas that you need to remember for everything that we have discussed for today. The sum of the interior angles, the measure of each interior angle, the measure of an exterior angle, and the sum of the measure of each exterior angle. Okay? Masaya yan. Kayang-kaya. At dahil dyan, for quarter 3, week 9, aside dun sa binigay kong activity sa inyo, answer also activities 1 and 2, check your understanding, and then the post-test. Sa mga nagsagot ng pre-test, do not worry, they're just similar with the post-test. Kaya sana, sa mga hindi naka-perfect, ma-perfect nyo na ngayon. Sa mga naka-perfect, sana perfect nyo pa rin. Okay? And, that is all for today. Muli, ako nga po pala si Ma'am Lovely Rose D. Bamba at ako ang naging teacher facilitator ninyo ngayong araw. Goodbye, students. Goodbye, grade 7 students.